I do like sacred sand. Born swiftly, still I'm asking God to take my hand and walk with me, war with me through the battlefield, guide my blows. Lift my mind so I can keep my third eye on my foes. Ride holding a gorilla suit, enduring persecution, swinging through the jungle, pulling off some tree to keep it moving. Revolutionary crime boss, spread my hustle like it's gospel. With heads called apostles, making up for time lost. No time off for good behavior, cause I keep rebelling. I never let them break my spirit, in the God I swear it. Wearing my gangster like a medal of honor. Doing battle with the system and the suit to get on armor. Refusing to get on army and arming them with the truth. And since I'm a fly boy, drop small ball from the booth. Skydiving with no parachute, I'm going out like Icarus. Get high as I can, if I fall, I ain't fearing it. But y'all ain't hearing me. Giving me these warnings like it ain't the risk involved just to get up in the morning. I'ma get up on it every time, keep it on my mind. If I die in the process, at least a nigga try. I grab my dub in the glass and roll myself in it. Tip the windows when I get through and lose myself in it. Won't be finished till I'm skyscraping. From Empire State, building up my temple, so consider this empire. Empire kingdom, building. Long live the king to my children. Children in the night sky, they burn with anticipation. Wait when they see me, I tell them just be patient. Cause I'm making empire kingdom, building. Long live the king to my children. Children in the night sky, they burn with anticipation. Wait when they see me, I tell them just be patient. Rabble rouser, tower of Babel house. Peace, 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 y'all. Peace, y'all. What's happening? What's good? Peace, light, and love, everybody. It's a brand new one. We got this thing called now, and it's still going. What's happening? What's good, everybody? If you can see me, if you can hear me, you know what I mean? Started out with a little bit of the music. I tried to hide the message in the music. But yeah, man, you got a brand new day, y'all. Ain't nobody seen it, touched it, tasted, smelt it, heard it before. It's a brand new day. What's happening? What's good? Good health, good vibration, peace, light, and love to the diaspora. Mic check, make sure we good before I start cooking, man. I think I might be on here for a hot second today. Cause I got a couple of things I want to run through with you. But before I do that, y'all know how I like to start. Hey, y'all, it's a brand new day. Don't get mad at me cause you call it Tuesday in veneration of something you got from Rome. It's called the present. It's called the present because it is indeed a gift. It's not a play on words or a coincidence that today is called the present. It's a gift because we did not earn it and we owe nothing for it. We did not receive this present because we were so good or because we knew so much or because we performed the right ritual. That is not how we got the present. The goodness of the giver is why we have the present, and any present that you get or you receive, if it is indeed and truly a gift, it was given because of the goodness of the giver. That's what made it a gift. You owe nothing for it and you didn't earn it. This gift that we call today consists of moments. Moments cannot be measured. We call it now. We've experienced days before and we've experienced moments before. And because we've experienced days and moments before, yet and still each day and each moment of each day is always new. This is why we call it a miracle. It's important. I call it a miracle. You might call it Tuesday in homage of and veneration of some celestial body. I don't got nothing to do with that. That's between you and Rome. But this present, this gift, I call it now. And last time I checked, it ain't stopped being now yet. It's always now. And this what's miraculous about the gift. The alwaysness of it. I've received many gifts, but the gifts I received, they got old. The gifts I received got old over time. But this gift called the present, this present right here, called now, man, it's always new. In its levels and levels of perceptions and awareness of this now.
And it never stopped. Different states of being and different states of awareness, and it's infinite. Always. Always has been, always will be. So I consider that a miracle to experience and be a partaker of. I don't know if you do. I don't know what you call a miracle. You might call something you read in the book that you never experienced. You might call that a miracle. But I call right now a miracle. And it's even more potent, man. It hit even more harder, man, because this thing called now, man, I didn't have to read about it in a book or believe in nobody or nothing or say the right prayer to get, to learn about, to become aware of. The awareness of it comes from inside. So yeah, this is a beautiful, wonderful thing called now that we get to experience. And, you know, you may not call now a miracle, but I do. And I just want to point out the fact that we have a witness. We get to witness and experience this miracle without having to have an alphabet or a language or a book or ethnicity or belief or anything. Just want to point that out. Everybody get to experience this miracle firsthand. No matter what you believe or who you believe in. Ain't that something? Ain't that special? This now that we got. So yeah, I just want to point that out before I get started. Now let me go a little bit further. Trigger warning, trigger warning. This is Bible deconstruction. Trigger warning to the Christian, Jews, and Muslims who may be triggered by the title in this live or the content or the information that's about to be shared during the course of this live. I'm issuing a trigger warning because you may be triggered. You may feel attacked by the title or by what's being said. Know here and now that I do not know you personally. But your belief system may be called into question during the course of this live, or even challenged. The validity of it may be even challenged during the course of this live. So I issue a trigger warning because for many believers, for their belief system to be challenged is triggering. And they feel offended that you would even challenge what they believe in. So I'm issuing a trigger warning to you now. This may not be a safe space for your mind emotionally. If you have not yet mastered your emotions and you are moved upon them and by them, and once you feel challenged or attacked, you feel that you must defend your honor, this may not be a safe space for your mind. If your purpose here is listening to see if whether or not you agree with what's being said, this may not be a safe space for your mind. I have no intention or interest in being agreed with or considered right according to anybody's religious belief or doctrine. Let me repeat that. I have no interest or intent on being considered right or agreed with according to anybody's religious belief or doctrine. So, if the purpose of you listening is to see whether or not you agree with me, this may not be a safe space for your mind. The reason I have no interest in what the people, the religious believers, the Christians agree with or call right, part of it is the picture that we have on the wall. That's evidence. The picture that I have on the wall is evidence of what the Christian institution has at once or may still agree with and call right. And so because we are looking at evidence of what you have agreed with and called right, it holds no weight in this space at all. You may be used to the type of environment where just because you believe it is true or because you believe it is right, this is not that type of environment. So I'm going to take my time with this trigger warning because a lot of people get offended by the information. These are revelations, by the way. Nobody taught me this. I didn't read it in a book or hear it from a pulpit. I'm sharing with you what has been revealed to me. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to like it. But these are revelations. Purpose of revelation is to reveal. Breaking the spell of Christianity is the title. Holding Christianity accountable. There's a picture on the wall that I have yet to have a Christian ever be held accountable for. So we're going to address the concept of right or wrong and the interpretation of the Bible itself. According to the doctrine of Christianity, based on whether or not the interpretation is true or false. The reason we're not going to go on right or wrong is because beyond relative, nobody knows what right or wrong is, and I got proof. I got proof if your drawers ever rolled up your behind, if you got corns on your feet, if you ever had to take high blood pressure medication because you didn't pick the right diet, the relationship didn't work because you didn't pick the right person. The shoes hurt your feet, you didn't pick the right size. Drawers too tight, you gotta pick them out your behind. You didn't go to the right neighborhoods and it's violent. You thought it was the right neighborhood, looked like the right neighborhood. That wasn't the right church. The career path wasn't the right one. The workplace is not the right one. Those are not the right friends. You thought they were, but you had to pray to a higher source and ask the Most High and God to find the right person for you or to decide for you the right way to go because you couldn't figure out right or wrong for yourself because every time you tried to do it, stuff didn't go right. But you believe, because of what you believe, you get to determine for me and other people what right or wrong is based on what you believe in capital letters, even though in your own life you've had to appeal to a higher source to determine it. True or false? But you got such a good handle on right or wrong. You yourself personally have such a wonderful, I'm talking about exemplary record, you understand me, of deciding right from wrong in your own life. You have such an exemplary record that you can decide among the gods for me which God is right. While your shoes don't fit your feet, and you take high blood pressure medication and you own your whichever relationship at whichever company because you just can't pick the right one. So yeah, we're going to do some deconstruction today and we're not going to concern ourselves at all, even a tiny bit, about what you agree with or call right today because you call it Tuesday. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you call it Tuesday. You know who Tuesday is? You call tomorrow Odin's Day. I said it's the present. It's right now. It never stop being now. It's always now. So we're going to deconstruct by way. I'm going to take you down through here. I'm going to give you Johnny. Because Johnny is a prototype. And Johnny is used to teach children like how to count and how to share and things like this. So Johnny, you give Johnny an apple and you might have Johnny cut this apple in half to teach a child about fraction. And you might give Johnny a sister so you can teach sharing. because he cut the apple in half to give the apple to his sister. So you're using Johnny as a prototype to teach children different principles about life and basic math and things of this nature, right? Follow me, y'all. Because in order to teach the kids, you give Johnny a couple of apples. Sometimes you're going to have to give Johnny a sister or a brother, or you might even have to give Johnny a mama and a daddy and a grandma. Sometime to teach this lesson of friendship, you're going to have to give Johnny friends. To teach the lesson of family, you're going to have to give them uncles and cousins. Teach the lesson of enemies, man, you're going to have to give Johnny some enemies, man. You get where I'm going. To teach about um uh being a good person or being a sharing person, you're gonna have to give Johnny some stuff so Johnny can go share it. Johnny gonna have to go through all different kind of situations because we use Johnny and his family as a prototype to teach lessons to children. 1,000 years pass. People pull up on the story about Johnny, and now they tracing their lineage to Johnny and Johnny's family. Because in order to teach, see, the audience knew who Johnny was and what the purpose of Johnny and the vehicle that was used for the lessons. But the people that translated it, being that they had to translate it, that means they weren't the original audience. Neither were they the intended audience. So they come across the lessons about Johnny, and now Johnny is a real person, and now they saying that Johnny is their ancestors, and they trace their lineage to Johnny and his people. There's a story in here. Johnny resurrected. Johnny got unalive because we was teaching a story about our immortality. We was using Johnny to teach it. So in the story, Johnny is unalive and then he's resurrected on the third day. People that came across this stuff a while later, and now Johnny is a real person that was really resurrected, that you must believe in Johnny or else you're going to be punished forever. Because these are the people that got the translation. And if they got the translation, that means they wasn't the original audience because you wouldn't have to translate it for them if they were. Being that they were not the original audience, but they were just translators and thieves on top of it, now they trace their lineage to Johnny and Johnny and them family. Mm-hmm. And they achieve great power in the world. What they say goes. What they say is reality. If they say they came from Johnny, then Johnny is real. Johnny have to be real because that's where they say they came from. If they didn't come from Johnny, where else they came from? Remember, they traced their lineage to Johnny and Johnny family. And they got power. What they say goes. They done distributed this story to everybody. 1,000 years later now. But let's take our time. Let's get to the Bible deconstruction, man. I say we use Johnny to teach children basic concepts like, so Johnny and his family is a prototype that we use to teach children different concepts. That's why everybody in the family name have a different meaning. Mic check, make sure we ain't froze up, man. Y'all let me know if it go to freezing, because you know the people that got triggered feel like because they don't agree with it, nobody else should hear it. So I want to show y'all something, man. Why is it the third day? What happened? Jesus was resurrected on the third day. Why the third day, though? Why not the first day? Why not the first hour? Why not the second day? Why the third day? Why? So that's what we want to show the people, why it is the third day. We deconstructing now. This ain't what your preacher taught you. Your preacher gave you a fairy tale. Yeah, he gave you a fairy tale. He stood in front of your face and played with you and then passed a collection plate around like you owed him something for standing in front of your face and playing with you. But we're going to tell you what it really means. Why it was the third day. But to understand why it was the third day, we have to go back to the part of the book that all the Christians skip over. We got to go back to the creation narrative. We got to go back to the third day of the creation narrative so we can deconstruct why the resurrection is on the third day. They celebrated on the winter solstice, or a couple of days later. December 25th is when they celebrated. And it is when the sun begins its process of ascension back towards the vernal equinox in the spring. So it's what we talking about. When the sun is put to rest or said to be at rest, and then it begins its ascension back toward spring, and the days gradually become longer from this point on. Because you're dealing with those with the lack of understanding, you're dealing with sun worship and the personification of the sun. Look at the picture. But those that are aware understand that you are the personification of the sun, because the real light of the world is the soul. The waters above the firmament, which this is what we have to take you to understand why the resurrection happened on the third day. We used the apple tree last time and showed you that you can't eat from the tree till he show up as his resurrected self, as the fruit, as the apple. That the apple must fall from the tree and be taken back into the earth for the tree to be reproduced and come back again. The burial and the resurrection. Mic check, make sure we live. But to make it plain for you, the third day and third day of creation is tied in together. For this over with, we're going to show you how the book of Revelation and the creation narrative are tied in together. Because it's a story being told and repeated, and there ain't no way to get around this ancient story. It's going to be repeated over and over again, whether you are Elohim or Yahweh is. These are the different names the translators was dealing with, because you had different camps, different concepts, even among the translators. The Elohim and the Yahweh is real deep. But we'll take it one step at a time, because it's the same story whether you're watching The Matrix, whether you're watching The Terminator, or whether you're watching The Smurfs. It's the same story. Your story, retold over and over again. Here we go. Third day of creation. Let's get it. So what happened on the third day of creation? Well, we got to give you the preceding day. So the water is divided first. Waters are peoples, nations, and tongues, by the way. You got the waters that are above the firmament, separated from the waters that are below the firmament. But this is a water break. The waters break. Waters got to break first, because you develop head first in a sack of water. And when the waters break, that's how we know you on your way. But what's the separation of the waters? What is it called? The firmament is called heaven. It's called the firmament, the firm mind. And the mind is the separation point between people. Different states of mind is our separation point. Those that are above the firmament know that the kingdom is within them, or the source is within them. The light, the life is within. And this is above all points in this realm. N is up for us. When we talk about the Most High, where we go to commune with the Most High. But those below the firmament, the sun in the sky, that's the Most High and the personification of it. Because all they know is what they see, touch, taste, smell, and hear, the body. And to them, there is nothing above that. So it's a different state of mind that separates us. This is the beginning. Because we're talking about the development and the manifestation of the light into the physical realm, and how that happened. It's the birth process, and the first thing that got to happen, the flood got to happen, the waters, because the purpose of the flood was to separate people. Purpose of the waters breaking, dividing is to separate people. And the firmament is the division point. We're not talking about no sky. All right. How we know we ain't talking about no sky? Because the first thing that was created was light, and it ain't a light you can see. Not with your physical eyes. First thing that's created in the creation narrative is light, y'all. It's not a light that you can see, touch, taste, smell, or hear. How we know? Because on the fourth day, you get the stars put into the sky, and that's where you get the sun. But we not saying that they didn't exist. Man, we talking about levels of awareness. We talking about in the beginning of something. Ain't nothing beginning but you. The eternal kingdom, right? You know what eternal mean, right? It mean ain't no beginning, right? Okay, so who got a beginning? We talking about your development. Whose creation are we talking about other than yours? Who else creation would we be talking about? You got to understand who you is when I say you. If you don't know who you is, somebody in the comments going to break it out for you. Listen to them. What you mean when I'm saying you. Mic check, making sure we live as we go down through here, because I'm trying to show y'all why it was the third, why the resurrection happened on the third day. But we just going to take it outside of fairy tale land for you and show you why the creation narrative is always skipped over by your pastor and your preacher. When you tell people that you deconstructing the Bible, that you must start from the beginning of the story, the beginning of the book to get it. If you don't, hey man, you just gonna keep playing patty cake with these people. We're gonna go all the way down through there today, man. I really want to show y'all that this information existed before the people compiled it into their book and called it the Bible. But the people that compiled it were not the intended audience. The Gentiles, the Romans compiled the book, but it's a book about some Jewish people. That they didn't convene a series of councils with the Jews to put the book together. They convened a series of councils with the Romans to put the book together. About the Jewish history, the people they had just ran out of Rome. Then they convened to put together his story about the people they just ran out. Just giving it to y'all. Tell me when I start lying. No, you don't agree with it. No, you don't like it. May not call it right. I just said, tell me when I start lying, though. Because we gonna confine this to true or false, because we already know what you call right ain't necessarily it. According to you going through bad things. That means you doing bad, and God is frowning upon you. That's why you going through all your troubles. That's what the story of Job taught you. And anytime you go through bad times, that means you are under disfavor with God. That's why you going through these hard times. That's what you learn from the story of Job, right? We all know that, right? Because if you was really right with God, you'll be rich and famous. But because you're struggling and going through stuff, is because you're not right with God. That's why you're going through that. That's what the story of Job is really teaching you, right? And you really know what right is. We can tell that by the picture on the wall that you know exactly what right is. You can come right in here and correct everything we got going. You can. We talking about the birth process. Who else creation are we talking about? We talking about your creation. Who else was created? My nigga, you. Yeah, you talking about eternal kingdom. Well, nobody that created but you. So that's what we talking about, your development. But it's deeper than what you thought it was. Do you know what you look like? Man, you covered in a whole bunch of eyes, man. You know how many people had to come together for you to exist? Those were a bunch of eyes, the 9 letters of the alphabet. So you covered in a whole bunch of eyes. You can see yourself from the 4th, 5th dimension. It'll probably drive you crazy in the 3rd. You dig what I'm saying? It's deep, man. We're gonna show you through the shadow as best we can. Cause you can't look at the real thing and keep your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. So just follow me now why it happened on the 3rd day. We telling you that eternity, you have to understand that what we're trying to show you is what eternity look like. What does immortality look like? it looked like cycles. It looked like the 4 seasons. That's why you call it the tetragrammaton, the 4 letters. Because it looked like the sunrise and sunset and summer, spring, fall, winter over and over again. No beginning, no end. Unless you can show me the beginning of the end of a circle, 360 degrees. If you can show me the top or the bottom of it, I cut the live off and go do me something else. But we just trying to show you what eternity look like. So you got what you call, because you work backwards. So to you, eternity look like death, burial, and resurrection. Because the one that you're dealing with, which is actually the lesser light, we'll break that down. He start with a corpse. He start at the grave. He start at the point of death. We're going to have to break that down for you. But just remember, Lord mean master. And that's who you're dealing with. Lord, Lord, Lord. Lord mean master. Look at the picture on the wall. Because you're dealing with some people who presented themselves to you as your master and put you to work. Just gonna get it to you plain. We don't take our time with what we got. Right now we got the book. So second day is when the firmament was created. But if you pay attention to the narrative, Christians, the second day of the creation narrative is the only day of the creation narrative that is not called good. The light is called good. What we finna read in the third day, it's gonna be called good. In the fourth day, that's a whole nother piece. But the second day of creation, just read it for yourself. It's not called good. That's for a reason. It's not called good. But wait a minute, that's the day that heaven was created. I know. That's why it's a difference between the kingdom and heaven. And your pastor may not have taught you it's a difference between what's called the kingdom and heaven. But the creation of heaven on the second day, according to the narrative, is not called good. Is the firmament, as a matter of fact, is not going to be called good until the fourth day when the lights are put into it. That first light, you remember, that was made, the beginning of creation? Yeah, that's soul. That's light means soul. That's your soul. It's alive. And it means knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of you, of the kingdom. The I am that you call, don't you call yourself I am? Yeah. See, this is how our ancestors' version of Lil Johnny. And how we passed on, how we use Lil Johnny as a prototype to teach you about stuff. We had to get Lil Johnny a mama and daddy, get Lil Johnny sisters and brothers, get Lil Johnny enemies, so that you can learn these lessons by way of the prototype Lil Johnny. Mm-hmm. Where do you think the blueprint came from? We're going to take our time, man, because I just want to make sure y'all understand about this. It's not called good because it's a state of mind. It's a firm mind. The mind is firm. But the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is not yet there. The awareness is not yet there. But you got your mind made up, though. Because you can have your mind made up to do some bullshit. But your mind is made up to do it. You got a firm mind. It's firm. You're not trying to hit nothing. But it'll be called good when you get some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But the mind must first be firm to contain the light that's going to be put into it. Because if it's not firm enough, it's not going to hold it. Your mind going to break. You're going to have an existential crisis. So it's a period that you're going to go through because the light got to be put into it, but that light is heavy, Jack. So we got to wait till that mind firm. And then to the light, because it's a living light, you know, this baby is just not born. So it got to be weaned first. And the baby is weaned by 3-4 years old. That's when the baby is weaned. It's when the baby is sent to do the father's work. When he's about 3-4 years old, he can say, I got to piss or that hurt or, you know, something wrong. Till then, he got to be with mama. He not ready to be around daddy, do what daddy do. He got to stay around mama till he's weaned. Then he come participate in the father's work in the field. That's what we talking about now. We just gonna take our time. That's why it happened on the fourth day. The light is sent into the firmament on the fourth day. The baby is weaned. But let's look at day 3. Because this is why Jesus rose on the third day of creation, y'all. I mean, on the resurrection. And God said, let the waters under the sky be gathered to one place and let dry ground appear. So the water gathered into one place revealed the dry ground. See, you're going to be reborn. And you're going to go back from the Father because you can't come unless it's through the Father. So you're going to come from the Father back into a sack of water. And then when you born head first. After the water separate, because the water just broke and, we just divided the waters. The waters just broke. So what happened after the water break? The head, you see the head come out. The dry ground is appearing. I said once you show up as your resurrected self, then the people can eat the fruit from you. So what is done on the third day, not only does dry ground appear, but the fruit and vegetation appears as well. The tree bearing his fruit and his seed in it. We talking about family lines, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the self. Because all of this is happening before time. Ain't no time yet. You don't get time till the fourth day when you get the stars. Because that's how you measure time, ain't it? Well, all this is happening before time. You got family lines established. These trees with his seed in it. Through a birth process. Waters broke, then you seen the head. And then on the third day of creation, when you are reborn, because that signifies birth, you crowning. And then that's when the vegetation and the fruit grow from the crown. Because now you can eat the fruit. I can feed, but I had to show up as my resurrected self first. Because now you can eat the fruit. I can feed, but I had to show up as my resurrected self first. Because now you can eat the fruit. I can feed, but I had to show up as my resurrected self first. Mic check, 1, 2. I don't know what it cut off at. So I'm going to repeat what I said coming all the way back. So Jesus is resurrected on the third day is because of the third day of creation. See, when you come, your immortality manifests as rebirth. You're going to be reborn. When you reborn, the water breaks. Second day of creation, the division, the breaking of the waters. Because the sack of water that you developing in is breaking before you can come out. And you come out head first. So the waters are gathered into one place. The waters that are below the firmament and the dry ground appear. That's the head. The first thing you see after the waters break is the head coming out of the womb. Out of the waters. And then once you show up as your resurrected self on the third day, this is when the vegetation grows and you can eat. Now they can eat from you. Now you can eat from the tree now. Because this is when the vegetation grows. You can't eat from the tree till it show up as his resurrected self. Till he show up as the apple. When the tree first grows, can't eat from that tree until the tree resurrect. And begin the process of resurrection, then you can eat from it. This is what's being described to you. It happened at the place of the skull, don't it? Golgotha. Got to be born again. We showing you about your immortality. This is used to show you about you. Because Jesus couldn't do miracles where a lot of people didn't believe in him. You do miracles every day. Nobody believe in you, my nigga. You the scum of the earth to these people. And you perform miracles every day. You move mountains because the most high point in this realm is within you. And the soul in you move people, my nigga. You move mountains every day. You ain't got to say nothing. Just the way you glide across the floor. Move people. Make them feel some type of way on the inside. The most high point in this realm, you'll make a mountain. Somebody that thought they was up high in this realm, and you pull up on them, they'll take themselves and throw themselves back down in the sea. They'll get all in their feelings, all in their emotions. They'll take themselves and throw themselves back down with the people because they realize they ain't the one that they thought they would when you showed up. Now they in their feelings. Make a mountain go throw itself into the sea. You didn't even know that what you was doing. You just showed up with that soul, and everything else just went to man. Hey, they just seemed like the scene went crazy because you was there. So but let me take it step by step about this resurrection thing. When you show back up, resurrected as your why happened on the third day, because this is your rebirth. You're reborn. This when you can bear fruit of the lips, speech, tongue, because the power of life and death is in the tongue. So you start acting on the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and speaking on it. It produces. So you stop chasing and start producing, because you're in a different state. If you chasing, that means you in a winter phase and you having to soak up nutrients and soil. So you got to chase all the sunlight and all the nutrients out the soil you can get. But once you reborn again, you start to bear your fruit. No longer are you chasing, you bearing fruit. You showing results about results for you now. It's a whole different mind state. I got fruit to give now. I don't got nothing to chase no more. This is a resurrected state. And everybody around you chasing. They not gonna understand if what you mean. You not chasing. Like imagine somebody running and play hard as they can, and here you is posted up on the wall, and they looking at you like you ain't chasing. You gotta get up and chase it. Now, I ain't seen the spider chase I seen the spider build a web and wait. World Wide Web. Yeah, I seen them build a web and wait in the middle of it. And he spent all his energy and all his effort building the well. That's what she did. She spent all her energy and effort building. She picked the right spot. She built her web and she waited. I ain't seen her chase nothing. I'm just saying. I'm just using nature. Because, the book quote nature. Nature don't quote the book. Last time I checked, you quote from authority. So we going to quote from authority. Nature. Yeah, I ain't seen her chase nothing. 360 The Alchemist. Shout out. Y'all follow 360 The Alchemist, man. Bro be dropping gems in passing, man. Boy, you don't even be paying attention. Just a drop it and keep going. Yeah, you talking about. But yeah, man. Where we at? So that's why the resurrection happened on the third day. If something else I want to rock with y'all. I want to go back to Mo. I got Exodus chapter 7, verse 1 on here. So this ain't what your pastor taught you. I really don't care what your pastor taught you. Or you know what I'm saying? I issue my trigger warning because Christians have a belief that the way that they interpret the Bible is the right way. So I got the picture on the wall to remind all the Christians that's listening of what you call right. I just want to remind y'all, just want to keep the big picture and big old picture in your face about what you call right. Big as I can get. I wish I could make it bigger. So that before you start typing in my comment section about what you call right, I just want you to look at the picture and be reminded of what Christians call right. Before you start. You did what I'm saying? Yeah, before you even get started. Because that's what you call right there. Exodus 7:1, King James Version says, today I have made you a god to Pharaoh. The New International Version put like in there. But the King James Version, if you read Exodus chapter 7, verse 1, it does not say like. When one is speaking, you cannot see lowercase or capital letters. True or false? If I'm talking to you, you can't see whether I'm saying it with a capital G or a lowercase g, can you? I know capital letters mean a whole lot to you. I understand. You'll literally lose your mind behind capital letters. But I just want you to understand that if I'm talking to you, you can't see whether or not I'm using capital or lowercase letters when I say God, right? So in the story, in the narrative, is Moses being written to or is Moses being talked to? The narrative. Is this being written to Moses or is this being said to Moses? And Moses mean he draw from water, right? Because remember, this water, again, not only is it the waters that you develop in, that you draw from the womb, the waters are peoples, nations, and tongues that you're gonna be drawn from when you wake up and realize your immortality. And it ain't even outlined with what you call your scripture. You talking about the eternal kingdom, ain't you? Don't you represent an eternal kingdom? How in the hell is you gonna represent an eternal kingdom and you mortal? You gotta be immortal. You represent eternity, or you can't represent it. Can you? How you gonna represent an eternal kingdom in your mortality? How you gonna do that? In what way do you represent an eternal kingdom? How? In what way is your existence evidence of an eternal kingdom? How? And yours is so limited. Who told you that you was gonna die? Did you get that from the Lord? Did the Lord, look at the picture, Lord mean master. Masters have slaves. Did somebody that called themselves your Lord tell you you was gonna die? Because bodies deteriorate. We talking about a third that got to be left behind. It got to be cast out. This is that third. This ain't you though. Did they tell you because this dirt deteriorate and go back into the ground that you gonna be dead? Is that what they told you? And somehow to you, this represent immortality, eternity. This how eternity manifests. So let's take our time and help you understand what you got caught up in, man. First of all, Exodus chapter 7, verse 1 say in the King James Version, I have made you a god to who? To Pharaoh. And your brother, Aaron, shall be your prophet. Moses mean he who is drawn from water or drawn from water. Aaron mean very bright or very high. Might be, it's one of the two, very bright or very high. Maybe very high, most high. Not most high, but very high, very bright. But these are the meanings of the names. Let's take you back. Pharaoh, Moses is being told that you are a god. I'm making you a god to Pharaoh. Pharaoh is the slave master. What do the slave master call himself, class? Lord. He's your Lord. He's your master. The picture on the wall is called Lord. And the picture on the wall bears a resemblance to people who call themselves your Lord or your slave master, don't it? Well, the name Lord is a replacement. The title Lord, excuse me, is a replacement. God also is a title. That's why it's being given to Moses. I'm using that verse to demonstrate to you that God is a title having to do with a state of being or a state of awareness. We're going to get there. It begins with being drawn from water. It culminates at the bush. We just going to take our time as we walk you all the way to it one more time. The title Lord is a replacement for the name that's given to Moses at the burning bush. Jehovah is also a name, but Jehovah means Lord. That's what Jehovah literally means. The name given to Moses at the bush, which we can read in Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 and 14, is I am that I am. I am for short. But it is spelled as what's called the tetragrammaton, YHWH, no vowels. It contains no vowels because it is a sacred name that was not meant to be pronounced out loud. Because of this, it was replaced with the title Lord. So what you're having to discern from is the real you from the fake you. Because YHWH is pronounced you. It's the you that you say in your mind with no sound, no vowels. I thank you, I praise you, I ask you. That you. It mean I am. It is not a coincidence that you refer to yourself as you and I am, because we talking about the most high you. State of being, state of mind, most high, I am. We're going to take our time. So where did you get this knowledge from? Where did you learn you? Where did Moses learn you? Where did Moses learn I am? Who I am? And what I am? Where did he learn it? Did he learn it under Pharaoh? Pharaoh's daughter. Daughter mean understanding. He's drawn from water. He's raised on Pharaoh's daughter. He's raised by Pharaoh's daughter. The sacred meaning, this vehicle used to teach this lesson. Daughter mean understanding. Moses, he who was drawn from water, was raised on the understanding of Pharaoh. So your Pharaoh is King James. That's the understanding that you was raised on. You was raised in Pharaoh's house. So where did Moses go? Moses left Pharaoh's house. He had to go on the run. He had to go into the wilderness. He had to go to Midian, a place of bitterness. That's what Midian means. Run into a Midianite priest and his 7 daughters. Peeped at all of this, these symbols. Daughter mean understanding. He got 7 daughters. He got complete understanding. He finna give Moses some game. He finna give him a daughter, some understanding. And after he get this understanding, from Jethro, Ruel, a friend of God, that's what the name means. He goes to the burning bush. Why he at the burning bush? Because his family line is no longer in esteem. It's been cut down, trampled down. Remember, Joseph's man was live in Egypt. Second to Pharaoh himself. They said they terms and policies is what enslaved the Egyptians, but it didn't kick in to generations down the line. By the time it kicked in, the Jews, the Israelites, have fallen out of favor in Egypt. They wasn't, if you pay attention to the narrative, they weren't complaining about them being, they weren't complaining about the institution of slavery. They were complaining about them being enslaved. They had already been having slaves before they got enslaved themselves. The institution of slavery for them was not the problem. It was that they were slaves. That was the problem. All right. Now, in the story, in the narrative, you got the Israelites, the children of Israel, falling out of favor, falling in position, relegated to slave status in the land. A kingdom is a royal family line. And what makes it a kingdom is that the family line is meticulously kept. A slave is a slave because he don't know who he is, what he is, what his family line is. He don't have, because the kingdom and the family line, that's how you institute the law. You don't know who he is, you don't got no family line, you don't got no law. So you got to be up under whoever law that come across you, they can enforce theirs. You don't got one. Your family line ain't important to you. You might not know who it was. They may have been conquered, enslaved, wiped out. But it's very important, if you're going to enslave somebody, you got to wipe out their family line. They cannot know their family line. The children of Israel, the people of Israel, have forgotten. Generations in past, years in past, they don't know who they are. The people, the Egyptian people don't know who you are. You don't know who you are no more. So your Moses and them people don't know who they are no more. And they not in favor in the land. They enslaved in the land. They get handled in the land. Pharaoh and them and Pharaoh lineages paid attention to and kept who Pharaoh and them great ancestors were, but not yours. So if you did have a family tree, your family tree been knocked down and erased all the way down to a baby bush. Because the only far as you can go back is probably to your like great granddad. That's as far as you can go back. You don't know beyond that. You may have come from a mighty oak of a tree, but to your knowledge, all you know, as far as you can go back, is your great grandfather or mother, maybe. So Moses go on the run because where he was in Egypt, raised under Pharaoh's and Pharaoh's understanding. He has no knowledge of self. He has no clue who he is beyond his immediate ancestors. He go out, he meet the priest of Midian who has complete understanding. How you know? He got 7 daughters. That's how I know. He gave Moses some understanding. How you know? Because he gave Moses one of his daughters. That's how I know. It's a prototype of a story, just like we use Johnny and the apples, and we have to give him a sister, and we have to give him a friend. We have to give Johnny some trouble sometime, for we can teach lessons through Johnny to the kids. So Moses get back to the burning bush. What he got left of his little old family tree. What he learned at the family tree? He learned, I am who I am. What I am. He learned you. And I know he talking about the ancestors because he said, I'm the God of your forefathers. And Moses, he didn't leave talking about the forefathers and the ancestors, but he damn sure came back talking about them. He came back talking about the ancestors and the God of our ancestors. And we finna leave. We not finna be slaves no more. Why? Because now we know who we are, and we finna reform ourselves based around this knowledge. Because he came back talking about the God of the ancestors. He wasn't talking about that before he left. He had to learn who he was. He learned it at the fact what was left of his family tree. You had to get him some understanding about who he was. That's why he was drawn from water in the first place. But when when he unalived the Egyptian authority, that's what's the King James? King James is your Pharaoh. Okay? Look at the picture on the wall of the Egyptian authority that's unaliving your brothers. Who they do it in the name of, y'all? In the name of Jesus. Boy, they unalive. So you're gonna have to deal with that cat. But when you do, you're gonna have to go on the run. Because that's the beginning. When you're going to start just feeling some type of way about your people, and the way the slave master look at the picture is handling your people. So you're going to go for his head, chop his head off, and bury him. And you would think that your people would celebrate, but they not. Because that's their master. That's their Lord. So you don't have to go on the run. You're going to have to go into your dark night of the soul. You're going to have to really get to know yourself, who and what you are, get your mind firm, so you can get ready for the light that's finna hit you. Then you can start bearing your fruit. Start putting it out there. Yeah, people gonna see it on you, hear it on you. When we get the land and we living on our land, we ain't paying no rent and we ain't paying no bills. You know how many people gonna want to get down with that just because we don't pay bills? What bills? We don't pay that. Nice home. Kick it hard every weekend. Hey man, we don't pay no light bill. We don't pay no mortgage. We don't pay water bill. Man, we own all this. It's ours. Paying bills, what is that? Who do that? Don't tell me you got a master too. Don't tell me you got somebody you call Lord on top of that. Oh man. Don't tell me you don't know who your ancestors are either, huh? Yeah, Moses came back talking about the God of your ancestors. Look at the picture on the wall. That's not the God of your ancestors. It's not. So God is a title that people wear. But you have to know who you are to wear the title. You got to know who I am. You got to know I am. You got to know you. YHWH is pronounced you. You got to know you. Because, our people, our ancestors have a sense of humor. Don't say their ancestors is all bland and it's solemn. Our ancestors got game, and you can't translate game. You got to come from it to recognize it. So when you was asking for a name to name your father, we had to kind of give you a gentle slap. Baby, you don't name us, I name you. So when you look for a name, the name that you got was you. And it mean I am. That's you being put in your place. And then objective reality, you didn't name your mom and your daddy. Your mom and your daddy named you, right? So why you looking for a name for the father? I don't understand why you take so much time with this concept. I don't get it. You say this your father, and then you say this your mother, but your father and your mother didn't give you a name to call them, did they? Okay, that was a sign for you, but you can't read sign. So the Pharaoh's understanding, King James is your Pharaoh because King James is your slave master, literally. And this is his understanding right here. This is the King James version of the Bible. This is his understanding that you was raised under Moses. This is his daughter. She has a mother. She's sitting in Rome, the Roman Catholic Church, the mother. That sit on many waters. Is y'all understanding what we putting in your face? So here we go with the right or wrong. So let's help y'all understand this right or wrong and where you got it from. This where we're going to bring this, we're going to land this plane with this concept. This for all the people that think they read this book, and because they read the book, they know what right or wrong is because they believe in the book. This is especially for you if you believe in the book. In the book of Revelation chapter 8, you have a situation going on. In Revelation chapter 8, inside this book, what's going on is taking place before the creation narrative. Need y'all to pay attention to what I'm saying. So if you want to deconstruct the Bible, you have to understand what parts of the Bible take place before the creation narrative. I say it all the time that the Bible starts in the book of Genesis, but the story is revealed in Revelation. Because things happen in Revelation, happen before the creation narrative. So if you come with me to Revelation chapter 8, I want to show you about your concept of right or wrong, Christian. I want to show you something about it. And I'm going to use your book to show it to you, especially if you're a Christian. I want the Christians to listen to me about your concept of right or wrong, and your ability to discern it, and why you think it's your responsibility. I want to show you something in Revelation chapter 8 about it. Your pastor probably ain't going to never show you this. When he opened the seventh seal, I'm just starting at verse 1. The seals are open. When he opened the seventh seal, the seals are open, and the seals were open before the creation narrative began. It's always now, remember? This thing that you got called time, you got that from Rome. I just showed you how in the beginning, in the creation narrative, we wasn't never talking about time. When we said, let there be light. Had nothing to do with the sun, moon, or stars when we said light from the very beginning. But that is what we call the day. Understand that. So the seventh seal been opened, and the seventh seal was opened before creation, because what I'm reading to you took place before creation. That's why it says opened, and not it's going to be open. It's already open. It's already here. When he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour, because we dealing with the Most High, and when you dealing with the Most High, we deal with the Most High in the most high of ways. And the most high form of communication is nonverbal. Up in here, when you go into the temple, there is no sound. I don't care what you say, how loud you say it, it make no sound. That's to show you in a sacred place, and ain't no sounds to be made here. Shut up here. Silence here. Need you coming up in here saying nothing. That's why what you say in here don't make no sound. Trying to get you to humble yourself and sit down, and when you come to the temple, shut up sometime. Just be. But you know it all. You know exactly what to say, even to the Most High. The Most High needs you to say stuff to the Most High, because the Most High was wondering what you had to say and who needed prayers, and was waiting on your direction to direct the Most High energy toward where it most needed to be. That was necessary. When you open the seventh seal, what's 7? Complete. When knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is complete, man, when you completely see what was hidden from you, man, you don't gotta go say nothing. But we'll just take our time, because, you know, everybody like the fairy tale version, and I don't got the fairy tale version for you. I'm sharing Revelation. That's why we in Revelation. And I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. Y'all know what I'm finna do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Angel mean messenger. Complete understanding. 7, there you 7 is not an amount. The people that's below the firmament, when they see 7, they go to count. See, 1, 2, 3, that's them. But those above the firmament, we understand the lesson. 7 is completion. Every time you see it, we ain't count nothing. What is an amount to eternal? I'm eternal. I know it's infinite, everything. That's why the numbers just keep what is all right, so we just gonna keep going, because now the people starting to understand where it's at, man, and how the preacher's been playing with you, and how we put the picture on the wall to show you how the preacher been playing with you for a very long time. Another angel who had a golden censer came and stood at the altar. Another angel. Angel mean messenger. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 accounted for before the throne. We got that accounted for. Another angel. He was given much incense to offer with the prayer of all the saints on the golden altar before the throne. The smoke of the incense together with the prayers of the saints went up before God from the angel's hand. I need the Christians to listen. I need the Christians to listen. This scene is taking place, Christians, before the creation narrative. I understand it's at the end of the book, but this is another sign for you that there are things at the end of the book that happen before the beginning to show you ain't no beginning, ain't no end. It's eternal. This angel had the responsibility, this messenger within the kingdom has the responsibility of taking the prayers and the supplication of the saints and presenting them to God, to the Most High, to the King, to the Queen, however, whatever. This is this angel's job. His job is to collect the prayers and the praise and the supplications that's going to God. This angel is the one that collect them and present them. Meaning, if you want to send your prayers and your praise and your supplication to the Most High, guess where you got to send it to? This angel. Included in these prayers and these praises and supplication of saints, just like you pray and you had supplication that you prayed to, and have you ever prayed and asked the Most High to discern for you right from wrong in your prayer or in your supplication or in your praise? Have you ever asked to be shown the right way, the right person, or the right thing in your prayers, in your supplications? If you have, this is how you must understand that the asking of God, show me right from wrong in any shape, form, or fashion is considered a prayer or a supplication, and is all part of what's called the praise that's due to the Most High. And when you will make the appeal for this discernment, what you are admitting, humbly so, is that only the Most High can determine it for you. This is to the praise of the one you are making the supplication to, that you saying, no, not me and not nobody I know can make. I got to go to a higher source to get the decision. And part of your prayer and your praise and supplication is to know the difference from right and wrong. So whenever you wanted to know this, just like you do today, like it's always done amongst the saints, we don't appeal to a book. We don't appeal to a person. We direct our prayers and our praise and our supplication and the discernment to the Most High, and we have to do so in order, and we do so by way of a messenger. Because every time the Most High speaks, that is a message, and a messenger is manifested, is created, a state of being. It represents to carry that message across the territory from the mind into the physical realm, the state of mind. That's how the Most High speak. States of mind are created. It's real deep. So we got a messenger though with this job. If you got prayers and the praise, got to come through me. I'm the one that you got to give it to now. It's you got to come through me. If you want to know from the Most High what right from wrong is, you got to give it to me, and I'm gonna take it. But what if from the Most High what right from wrong is, you got to give it to me, and I'm gonna take it. But what if from the Most High what right from wrong is, you got to give it to me, and I'm gonna take it. But what if trigger warning to the people, man. Here we go, man. You know they got to cut my live out 3-4 times in the course of it. I don't know where it cut off, but I'm in Revelation and I'm in chapter 8. I'm showing the people about where they concept of right or wrong come from. And the error of thinking that you can decide right or wrong. You can, or the book can, or the belief can. So we're going to use the story of the fall of the one you call Lucifer, or Satan. This is Lucifer, the angel that's presenting it. This is Lucifer. This is his job. Lucifer is responsible for collecting the prayers and the praise and presenting it to the Most High. This is Lucifer's job. That's why he's so beautiful. See him coming. You already know what he coming for, and he's so beautiful, I ain't even tripping. We're going to break it down a little bit more. We not tripping on the people that don't get it, man. We in the flow. We'll come back for them in a minute when we get through and pause. But this for the people that's following, and this they first time getting it. I want to keep going while we in this flow. Because this is happening before creation. So, all right, let's keep going. Then the angel took the censer, filled it with fire from the altar, and hurled it on the earth. Trying to show you where you got right and wrong. Because, see, the prayers and supplication was in the censer that got thrown down. It wasn't supposed to get thrown down. What was in the censer? Prayers and praise and supplication. We have a phrase, we have a saying, all praise be to the Most High. The concept of right or wrong and the decision of it is part of that praise. It's not up to you. It's not up to your preacher. It's not up to your book. It's not up to your belief. You understand what you're supposed to do with right or wrong? Where you supposed to take it? Because what is it? It's a part of a praise. Somebody was appealing to a higher source than you for the discernment of it. But you done interrupted it and snatched it and threw it down and threw it to the earth. This is heaven. This is the earth. The kingdom is within you. Now this manifests because we in the spiritual realm, we describing something that take place spiritually, but it manifests physically. So we're going to show you how it manifests physically. It manifests physically how all knowledge, wisdom, and understanding manifests itself. Through people. And all people manifest themselves through a family tree. So you got let's see, he took it and he threw it down to the earth, on the earth, and there came peals of thunder, rumblings, flashes of lightning, and an earthquake. These are examples of power. Manifestations of power. Elohim mean the powers. It's a plural word. But this angel, let me show you what he did. Let's go to Revelation chapter 10. Because he threw the prayers and the praise down. Christians, I need y'all to listen to me. This happened before creation. This happened before the war in heaven. This what kicked it off. This right here, the rebellion that took place. We're going to bring it home for you, so we're going to come out of spook land. But first, I got to show you something. Revelation chapter 10, then I saw another mighty angel coming down from heaven. It say mighty. Elohim mean the mighty ones, or the powers. El is singular. Elohim is plural. Let us. I'm going to show you something about him because he say the man has become like one of us. Now, man was already made in the likeness and image of God. Man was already made in the likeness and image of God. Man got deceived because he thought that something outside of him was going to make him more like God. You already are in the likeness and image of God. And nothing outside of you is going to make you more so. As a matter of fact, you go to taking in stuff outside of you is going to make you less so. Because it's going to make you forget you. Why HWH? But another mighty angel, mighty, this is the clue now, that the angel is described as a mighty one. Elohim mean what? Mighty one. Okay. That's what God, when you get the term God. So just because you're hearing God, remember when you hear God, that means the mighty ones. It's a title that applied to your ancestors. That's where it originates from. But a lot of things that originated with your ancestors, as you can see now, were taken and claimed by others to say that it came from them, even though it came from your ancestors. You see that today. You're having to learn who invented this and who invented that. And you didn't know it was a black person that invented this, and it was a black person because it wasn't a black person that got the credit for it. It wasn't a black person that got the money for it. But it was the black person with the soul, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, creativity, imagination to create it. The enemy can't create shit. He can't create nothing. He's a shadow. He can only imitate. Your shadow can't create nothing. It can only imitate what you do. He's a shadow. Let's keep going. We just gonna keep busting it down. This is not what your pastor taught you. This is not what your preacher taught you. This is not what you have been led to believe. We are revealing something to you. These are revelations. Then I saw another mighty angel. So that term mighty means you're dealing with among the Elohim, a El. This is an El for short. Coming down from heaven. He coming down. Because you remember, Satan was cast out. Why he got cast out? He got jealous. See, he got to see the concept of right or wrong. The people that was making supplications of right or wrong and needing that decision, he started thinking he could make that decision for them. Yeah, I can call this. Yeah, y'all good. I'm just saying what people was wanting to know what right or wrong was, and they was trying to appeal to a higher source than him to get it, but he felt like he could say, yeah, that's wrong and that's right. I'm gonna make that call. I'ma say it. Sound familiar? Let's take our time while we have to confine our investigation to true or false, because we do in real life objectively, we have all appealed to a higher source to discern for us right from wrong, and we still have a hard time doing it. So we have to at least got to take a step on down and accept we don't really have a good handle on knowledge of good and evil. Maybe it's because it's not for you. Maybe it's because it's part of the prayers and supplications that we're supposed to go to the Most High. Ain't that where you take it? And all the trouble come from people saying I'm right and you wrong, huh? We'll take our time and help people understand where they got it from. I saw another mighty angel coming down from heaven. He came down, but look how he came down though. Cause he ain't come down hollering and screaming. I got kicked out of heaven. Yeah, I got kicked out of heaven. But I didn't get kicked out of heaven hollering and screaming and crying. That nigga I came down and came through. Here you talking about, so check him out. He was robed in a cloud, like the sun. You got the clouds in front of the sun. I say these people worship the sun, or the personification of the sun, or the constellations. Every day of the week is named after one of them in this realm. in this age. So what else he look like when he come down, man? And we talking about one that got kicked out. This is one you worship though and call Lord. But we just gonna reveal him to you. That's why it's in Revelation. We're gonna make sure we reveal him to you, and I dare you to deny that this is the one you've been hollering about. He was robed in the cloud, because that's the same way he left. That's how he coming back. With a rainbow above his head. So you can see in books like Daniel, Isaiah, and Exodus, as we gonna turn and look, where they dealing with somebody, man, they got a rainbow over his head, face like the sun. When they see him, every time they pull up on him, Moses and the 70 elders of Israel, Daniel, Isaiah, this is what they describe. The angel, the mighty one, Elohim, mighty one, that came down. The sun, and the sun personified. But let's take our time, make sure you realize what we describing to you. He got a rainbow over his head. This is the one they say, I'm going to put my bow in the sky for you. The one that flooded everything. Remember the one that wiped everybody out? Because he was mad. He regretted what he made. So he said, I'm going to wipe everybody out because they so wicked. And then after he wiped everybody out because they were so wicked, they were still wicked. So he said, I ain't going to do that no more because they're going to be like that anyway. So I'm going to put my bow in the sky to remind me not to do that to them because they wicked anyway. Because I made them. Because I made them. So that's what they're going to be like because they come from me. That's the Lord. We talking about the Lord. Look at the picture. Yeah, that's just what they're going to be like. Because what they come from. We'll take our time. I'm in Revelation and I'm in chapter 10. And I'm in verse 1. Then I saw another mighty angel. He was robed in a cloud with a rainbow above his head. His face was like the sun. So you got another clue about the sun. So he robed in the cloud like the sun, got the clouds in front of it. Now he got a face like the sun, got the rainbow over his head. He said, I'm going to put my bow in the sky. Every time they describe the guy that they following, he got a face like the sun with a rainbow over his head. Let's keep reading about it, man. Show the people that they describing the sun as being revealed in Revelation. That they've been worshiping, that came down. The one that threw the golden censer down, because it was his job to take the prayers and the supplications, because the people would see him coming and rejoice. Peep the sun. But now we got another one we look for. And it don't got nothing to do with the physical light. We looking for the one that's coming with the understanding. We looking for that light. Oh, man, we're going to take your time, man, and go down through this. We recommend your Akashic Records, that Bible right there, that book right there. It's called Akashic Records. That book that's deep, deep within your DNA and subconscious. We recommend that you read those pages deep into your subconscious DNA, Akashic Records. Read them. We recommend it highly. It's where I get mine from. Ain't a book on earth that can top it, Jack. So, yeah, man, we're going to keep busting it on down, man, for the people that's under the spell, man. Help the people break the spell and help them break the spell. He was hold on, and his legs were like fiery pillars. So they following, they was following somebody that was a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Tell me when I start lying on the people, because the book is revealing something to you. It's just not what you thought it was. We're going to take our time, though, from beginning to end and show you what's being revealed to you so you can come out of it. How about it, y'all? So, okay, so they following one that's a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, correct? In the desert? Moses knew. It's a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. What's the pillar of fire by night? The sunset, baby, over the water. And you see the strip of light, the strip of fire. That's what they following. They following the sun. They sun worshipers. They now let's go deeper. Those are the people that's below the firmament and have no understanding. And then on top of that, it's information that they stole. And that's what they thought it was. But that's not what we was talking about. So let's break something down to you when you keep going in Revelation, because the dude in Revelation, you remember that threw it down. Let's keep reading about what he got. Let's read about him. He was holding a little scroll. He got a scroll with him. He got a little book with him. Do you get your knowledge of good and evil from a book that you say was divinely inspired by a mighty one? Do you? Just showing you where you got your right or wrong from. Because you remember that it got the supplications got thrown down. Well, how is it going to manifest into reality? The things that you prayed to the Most High about, ask for discernment on, and praise in form of praise and prayer. How do you do this now? How did it get thrown down for people to receive this? You got to write it down. You got to write down your request, and you got to submit your application to the powers that be. You got to pray to them in the form of written requests. Submit applications. He got his little scroll with him because the concept of right or wrong, or true and false, and good and evil, and all the wisdom and discernment and grace, that come from within you, written on the law of your hearts. If it ain't in you, if you are a child of the Most High, because you have what we call soul, it's just in you. But for those that's not children of the Most High, and they ain't got no soul, well, they got to get theirs out the scroll, Jack. Yeah, they got to get their discernment, their knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. They got to get it out the scroll because it ain't in them. It ain't wrote on their heart. Ain't got no soul in them. All they know is the scroll. It don't come from a scroll. It didn't come from the mighty one. I mean, God. We all know if it come out the scroll, it's right. Look at the picture. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Make sure we all on the same page today, y'all, with the rain coming down outside. Yeah, man. So let's keep reading about it, man, because he got a scroll with it, man. This is where you get your scroll from. For the creation narrative. This is still. Yeah. Yeah, it's still before the creation narrative. So if you want to understand what happened in the book and you want to deconstruct the book in order, then you got to understand what happened before the creation narrative, don't you? Yeah, you do. Because we talking about an eternal kingdom. No beginning, no end. So the book got something going on before the beginning at the end of it to demonstrate no beginning, no end. You just keep putting it in your face in as many ways as you can, man. Don't get mad at me because you nigga-phobic and don't think niggas supposed to be able to break down esoteric understanding because you hid it with your whole heart and all your might. Yeah, you didn't do a good enough job behind it. You should have hid it better. All I can tell you. All right, so here you go. His legs were like, he got the scroll which lay open in his hand. He planted his right foot on the sea, his left foot on the land. He gave a shout like the roar of a lion. He go around like a lion, seeking who he may devour. So he rolled like a lion. What is he? He got his one foot on the land, one foot on the sea. He laying claim to something, but it ain't his. He's trying to lay claim to it, and then when he shouted, 7 thunders, voices uttered, and they responded completely. But it's sealed up. It got to be revealed what was uttered. But what was uttered is I can't. I'm not even gonna say it. I can't but just mama and daddy'll cuss you out, man. Just know that you'll have them fucked up, and they'll let you know you got them fucked up. Don't you go repeat that. But they'll let you know you get out of line. They will let you know that you got them messed up. So he's making the claim. This is why this is shaping up the creation narrative and the why of us. Because this role has to be replaced. This angel, this mighty one. Remember, God mean the mighty one. And this angel was a mighty one. Well, he got to be replaced. Who is his replacement? You. Let there be light. Let's keep reading, show if you understand what I'm talking about. So he got to be replaced. We're dealing with a kingdom. This one of my sons. This one of my boys. My boys feel like, he can step in and do my job for me before I didn't handed it to him to do. So his role got to be replaced. So who am I going to replace him with? He had a very important role. Anybody want to come to me, I go through them. Because I'm royal, I'm sovereign. I always have a go-between. I don't never deal directly. I always have a go-between, a mouthpiece. I'm sovereign. King's business get handled. And I'm sending my son to hell. I'm bending my son with the tripping. So I got to send another one of them. But which one am I going to send? I got to send the baby. I have to send the baby. That was my oldest boy right there. That was firstborn. That's my oldest boy. Spitting image of it looks just like me. Some people say he my twin. That's why you got to be careful when you're dealing with the story now, because like I say, we look just alike. Because that's my oldest boy. So I had to send my baby boy because I know that my baby boy is going to delight to do my will. I know he's not going to want any of my praise for himself because he's only 3-4 years old. So when the people see the baby boy coming, they're going to be happy to see the baby coming to collect the praise because it's the baby. Everybody like to see the baby come running to do what mom and daddy send the baby to do. And the baby is happy to do it because he's just 3-4 years old. He don't even know what it is he carrying. He's not conscious or aware of his role in the kingdom. Some people he pull up on and they hate to see him coming. He don't even know why. He's just a baby. But his role, they know what his role is. And then the one that's down here with 1 foot on the land and 1 foot on the sea, and he roaring like a lion. He hate to see baby boy coming because he know baby boy is his replacement. And he down here talking about he God. And people worshiping, making images to him, they believe him. He hate to see baby boy come. He know that's his replacement. And baby boy don't even know what he is. Yeah, he just a baby. He don't even know what he is. He got all the praise. He collect all the praise. He don't even know what he got. And they hate him for it. Some people happy to see the baby boy coming and glad and see the wisdom in the Most High that the baby is coming to get it. That's right. We ain't got to worry about the baby getting greeted, trying to keep. I know that the prayer, all of the prayers and supplications gonna get there where they supposed to go, because the baby got it. And the baby would delight to do go get my keys. Watch how hard that baby go get them keys. Go get mama's shoes. Baby can't even hold mama's shoes. But the baby gonna struggle and strive to bring them shoes to mama. Don't want nothing. Ain't asking for no payment, praise, recognition. Mama, my pleasure is going to do what mama sent me to do. That was enough for me. Mama sent me to do it. I get to do it. That's it. That's all I want. So it's in that state that you got to be in. That's the state, that childlike state that we want to be in when we moving around in this realm. I feel like I have feel in that word. Yeah. So back to Revelation chapter 10, man. Well, this angel, hold on, that I had seen standing on the sea and on the land, raised his right hand to heaven and swore by him who lived forever and ever, who created the heavens and all that is in them, and earth and all that is in it, and the sea and all that is in it, and said, there shall be no more delay. But in the days where the seventh angel is about to sound his trumpet, the mystery, my story of God will be accomplished, just as he announced to his servants, the prophet. When do this happen? When do this take place? So we step inside of time on the fourth day. We step in, time no longer in the spiritual realm, in the inverted realm. We stepping inside of time. Time begin on the fourth day when the stars are put into the sky. The sun is a star. Why is the sun, why are the stars put into the sky? Because the lights are put into the firmament. And the lights that are in the firmament are above the stars that are in the sky. This is where the fallen ones go. This is where the fallen ones are held. Because we got something above those lights, don't we? The lights in the firmament, in your mind, in your subconscious, that's older than time. Before you began to measure time according to the sun, moon, and stars, you were here and you had knowledge. That's older than time. But yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep digging down into it. Then the voice that I heard say, go take the scroll that lies open in the hand of the angel who sits on the sea and on the land. So I went into and asked the angel to give me the little scroll. He said to me, take it and eat it. It will turn your stomach sour, but in your mouth, it will be as sweet as honey. The little scroll in his hand is going to turn the belly sour, but in the mouth, it's going to be sweet. How do it manifest physically? Well, it's a tree, they said, that looked good to the eyes and was desired to make one wise. What is the tree? It say it got the knowledge of good and evil, the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. It looked good to the eyes. It desired to make one wise. The angel that came down with the angel rainbow, he got a little book that's sweet in the mouth, but turn the belly sour. It's a teaching. Sound good. But when you experience what is called good, it ain't gonna be good. Let's give you an example. So in your Bible, you have examples of genocide and slavery that you say because it was ordered or commanded by the Lord, that this is good. But if it were done to you, or did you see it done to other people around you, your loved one, genocide and being human trafficked, you say it's not good. So it sounded good, sweet in the mouth, but the experience of it is not good. If it were to happen to you, the same thing that you said was good and praised the Lord for, that very same thing were to happen to you, you'd be like, no, hell no. But what if they enslave you in the name of the Lord? I don't care who name they trying to, I don't want to be nobody's slave. But you called it good when you read it in Exodus, Deuteronomy, Leviticus. You said that was good. It wasn't, was it? Based on personal experience. Because that's as far as we can go. Was it good to you? And nobody listening to me gonna say with a straight face that slavery is good to them. Like they would want to experience that. So you wouldn't want it done to you, then that means to do it to somebody else or to call it good, to be done to someone else is wickedness. It's wickedness. It's the definition of what it is to be wicked. I don't want to be enslaved, but those people over there, if they get enslaved in the name of the Lord, praise Jesus. It's wickedness. It's what that is. But you got tricked and put under spell. They got you to call that type of stuff slavery, genocide, rape. They got you to call it good because of who was doing it. And who was doing it is the mighty one. And because you worship the mighty one, you said it was good. So we revealing to you this mighty angel that came down. So when you're looking among the mighty ones, because you're dealing with the mighty ones, it's a plural word. And one of them is the imposter. They want to present themselves as your God. But your God, you are made in the likeness and image of. That's how you know who your God is. Look at the picture on the wall. Are you made in the likeness and image of that? Then that would mean that's the imposter God that's presenting himself to you as your God, and that's why he called himself your Lord. Because your relationship with him is that of master-slave. But he just treats you to call it good. But you complain about being a slave today, right now. Because you don't know what good is. It's not for you to deal with. It's not for you to handle. That's part of the prayers and praise and supplication that go to the Most High. But you received it because it manifested itself in the form of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And the tree is a family line. It's a family line. That picture represents a family line, baby. King James represents a family line, baby. I'm sorry to tell you. And that's the tree that you got the knowledge of good and evil from. The ones that said they get to determine what is and what is not, what is right and what is wrong. And presented themselves to you as your Lord. Yeah, I can't make it no plainer. I can't make it no plainer. But to some people, you know, somebody sitting up in here, angelic messenger, I'm finna let you up in here and pause for a second because I've been going. So what's happening if you can hear me? Peace to you.
Hey, thank you for having me on. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. What's happening?
That's good to hear. I was looking to see if you'd be up to bounce around with an opposing view from where you're at.
Oh, go ahead. What is it that you oppose, or what is it? Hold on, before we start, I want to set some parameters because I don't care what you agree with or call right. We can keep it to what did I say that you find false? What's not true? What I said.
I don't believe Christianity is a spell that needs to be broken.
You said you don't believe. I said, what am I saying that's not true? Like, what is false about what's being said that you can prove that no, what you're saying that's false, and I'm gonna show you how it's false. Not whether or not you agree or you feel like Christianity is a spell that should be broken. Can you show me what's false about it?
Depending on which view or avenue you allow me to unpack it from. So I guess to be more factual from a data set that we do have, we could approach this from a neurochemical perspective, and that we've proven that optimistic belief systems generate more positive chemical responses within the brain and the body.
I want to go higher than that. This is where, let me help you understand where I'm coming from and why this title is there. The spell of Christianity. We got this thing called signs, right? That you can read. And you can get a sign that you can read that does not require alphabets or languages to read. But Christianity, in order for you to receive the doctrine of it, is contained in the spelling and spells and languages. But I'm dealing with something of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you receive internally, whether you call it inspiration, clear cognizance, stuff coming from your subconscious to your conscious, whatever you want to call it, that does not come in the form of letters or spells. It come as a knowing.
Okay. So yeah, even Jesus Christ would agree with you upon that there are other guides and teachers that can download information into your consciousness, in other words, the Holy Spirit.
We on the same page.
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like you're definitionally not against Jesus or his teachings, but the religion that's been built around it.
Exactly. What's being taught about it. The way it's presented.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Then
Because,
yeah,
okay,
Jesus
look at it like this. Look at it like this. The story of Jesus is against the Jewish leaders of the day, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the main two groups. And they got these big, pretty synagogues because the Romans is letting them have the certain leaders, peep the play. Romans is letting certain leaders establish big, pretty synagogues. And they are more concerned with converting people. Excuse me, bro. Every time I start cooking, they'll cut this live, so you gotta excuse this. But what I was saying was, Jesus is against these Jewish leaders that got these big, pretty synagogues, and is more interested in having a big congregation and getting the big collection plate filled up than they are in feeding the people that's hungry, housing the people that's homeless, healing the people that's sick. So he's coming against these people and saying your interpretation of these scriptures, the way that you're breaking it down is what you're saying it mean is false. It don't even mean that. But you use it to enrich your pockets and be good up under Rome and keep the people in control for Rome, but you're really not helping the people at all. So Jesus had a whole ministry built around feeding people, helping people. The people that followed and believed ended up selling all of their possession and establishing their own communities to see to their own needs. They weren't building churches and synagogues like the Jews had. They were establishing communities. So it's the narrative that's been given to us and the way it's presented and twisted around is completely false. And it's because of languages, spells, translations.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Okay. So you do believe that there is an intelligent creator to the universe?
Oh yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, it's just you're against religion and the idea of it, same as Jesus taught that he was against religion and the reasons for it, which it was constructed, and neglecting society as a collective.
Same thing that's happening now.
Yeah.
You got these big churches in the poorest of communities, and they more concerned with converting people and getting the collection plate than they are with feeding people and housing people and making sure people are healthy. It's the same thing. It's always now. It don't stop.
Have you ever heard of Bashar?
Bashar, who is that?
I promise you, brother, you will absolutely love him. Write the name down. This is hands down the most intelligent individual I've ever heard in my life. And they generate a perspective about the human race from a position that's not coming from Earth. I'll say that.
Okay.
So if you run across him, give him a chance. He'll change your view on your own reality completely. And,
man, I haven't even shared with you. I haven't even shared it with you. But yeah, what do you think my view on reality is?
I'm not sure, but I know that if you grew up in this world, as have I, and have expanded upon to this perspective that not many people have, seeing that Jesus even himself was against religion, as as I'm in full agreement with you on that. Bashar, he creates this view that is not of this world. And we can always expand our perspective so as to improve our understanding and awareness of reality, ultimately, fundamentally improving our experience. And then as a result, also improving the experience of others as a collective.
Is Bashar is he bald-headed?
Yep, that's the guy.
Oh yeah. I check him out. So I'll just share with you the concept of eternity. Let's just start here. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is my belief that energy that cannot be created or destroyed has always manifested in and through matter. And that the highest manifestation of energy through matter is us. We've always been here.
Yeah, the one true state of energy, I guess, definitionally is going to be you, or in other words, your consciousness, everything that makes you up. Physical energy is just simply an illusion, which quantum physics, or the revelation and studies of quantum physics, is now starting to challenge that perspective that I just generated, which is incredibly interesting.
What you say, I say it a lot, that we still finding different ways that energy manifests. And like you say, it's an internal, whether you call it mental energy, I'm talking about beyond electrical pulses. And then you have energy that's contained within matter. But energy has always manifested because consciousness is a form of energy. And if consciousness is the form of energy and it's always been, then that means we have. Energy has always been. You are energy. I am energy. That's what we are. But there's a process to how it manifests. And that process has always been. We're talking about eternity. And that's why we see it manifest in cycles.
Yeah. If you haven't gone in depth with Bashar, just from the few things that I said, you'll fall in love with this guy.
Oh yeah. So I just do the Bible deconstruction and showing the people that these concepts are beyond the religion or the way the religion give you these concepts as far as resurrection, immortality, eternity, good and evil. It's being presented is vehicles are used to teach a lesson, but the vehicles are not people that you should idolize or Worship, this just like we use Johnny and his apple, and Johnny cut an apple in half. And sometimes we got to give Johnny a sister to teach the lesson. Sometimes we got to give Johnny a mama and daddy to teach the lesson. But you're not supposed to be tracing your lineage to Johnny. That's not what the intent was. It's a lesson that you were supposed to learn through Johnny.
Yeah, we are eternal beings that agreed to construct this physical reality so as to expand the collective consciousness and experience of eternity, or all that is. And through this, the greatest purpose is to be yourself through this. And by being your true self, that's the greatest form of love, by giving others the opportunity to see you truly who you are. Because not being yourself is hiding yourself away from others. And in the process of also being your true self and navigating this, we get to experience and see the difference between what we do prefer versus what we don't prefer. So this all roots back to be yourself, be a kid, be free. Know and understand your eternal.
Put. Yeah, I love that. That's beautifully put, man. I love that right there. That's what it's about. It when it's all said and done, getting people to get back to looking to yourself for your answers, for your right or wrong, for your good or bad, and stop letting outside sources determine it for you.
Yeah. And what I love the most is the formula that Bashar teaches, which is literally the driving engine to physical reality and the purpose to which everything was constructed so as to allow us to experience the greatest forms of reality. And the formula is to follow your excitement with integrity and have no insistence on the outcome. And to break that down, by following your excitement, you're in a state of joy by doing what it is that excites you the most. And it's impossible to be depressed and excited at the same time. So rather than constantly going through the mundane, you go for what excites you, and you also, in conjunction with that, combine the aspect of integrity, meaning you follow your excitement with a compass of morality with that, to where you don't take from others and you don't hurt others. You don't impose anything upon others. And then to have no insistence on the outcome is to establish a fundamental framework to, as you navigate that, to where you will never be disappointed, knowing that everything is purposeful as you navigate these experiences that excite you the most, knowing that at minimum you're going to extract a beneficial, positive perspective that, hey, I just learned that I don't prefer this.
Do you know what you're describing? Have you heard of the laws of Ma'at?
I have not, no.
Check out the 42 laws of Ma'at.
Same. How do you spell that?
M-A-A-T. It's a M-A, and then like sometimes you might see a apostrophe and then A-T. 42 laws of Ma'at. You describing, this is ancient. This is another thing that I'm trying to get through to my people. The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding contained in the Bible is more ancient than we know. And it's coming from our ancient ancestors. That the information that came from your ancient ancestors that's now in these books is in your DNA. It's in your subconscious.
Yeah. I mean, by definition, we are aliens in a sense. And we're definitely not the only intelligent, free-willed beings that are capable of being a part of this physical reality that we exist in, or the specific planet that we call Earth. There's definitely other beings that are here, and we can see that within the timeline of our history, which is clear. Where I would say we were at from Bashar's perspective is that knowing and understanding from a physics perspective that in order for two levels of energy to be on the same wavelength, they have to be close enough to it as to be able to affect one another to enter that same wavelength. But fundamentally, they have to be on the same wavelength to interact directly with one another. Meaning, we operate at different levels of frequencies as humans ourselves, which is why people conflict with one another, because they're operating on different frequencies. Some people are operating on anger, greed, frustration, impatience, anxiety, depression, and so on and so forth, the whole spectrum of emotions. You will resonate more and become more synonymous with those that are on the same level of frequency as you. And as we expand upon that perspective into intergalactically other beings, there's a reason why they're not interacting with us. They operate at a much higher frequency than us. So as to be able to come into our reality, they've given this physics perspectives that because we operate at such a low frequency, they will overpower us and we will lose our identity, and they don't want to take that from us. So they're essentially providing us with this toolkit of following our excitement with integrity, with no insistence on the outcome, so as to raise your core vibrational frequency and experience more joy in your life, so as to also bring the collective of society, the vibration of our society upward to more match theirs, so that we can, I guess, integrate open contact with them.
I want to show you something. I got to show you something. Everything that you just said, everything, we finna condense it. Because that's how you take the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, information, and it's considered smart when you can condense it. You did?
Yep.
Everything you just said is condensed. Let me show you something, man. Check this out. And it's going to be done twice. Let there be light. And God said, let there be light. And God saw that the light was good and separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning, the first day. Then again, let there be an expanse between the waters. Waters is peoples, nations, and tongues. To separate water from water. So God made the expanse and separated the water under the expanse from the water above it, or the firmament. The firmament is called heaven. And the suffix ment is mind. Light is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This is housed in the mind. This is why the mind must be firm to house it. The separation point between people, these different states of being, states of vibration, levels of awareness, the separation point is the mind. That's our boundary. We in the same realm, on the same plane, 360 degrees, but we live in different states of mind. And these different, whether you call them angels, extraterrestrials, it still is no separation from the self, higher levels of the self, and shadows. Like your shadow casts a 2D shadow from your 3D self. But it's you. It's your 2D self, that's you. Your shadow, your 3D self, that's you. And this another self, a higher self, that this self is the shadow of. We are covered in ice, the 9th letter of the alphabet. Like, yeah, man, it just go deeper and deeper. But the smartness of it is that everything that we are saying is condensed very smartly in those 2 verses, if you have understanding of what's being described.
Yeah, 100% on board. I love the example that you gave of the shadow being an aspect of yourself, but being simply just an aspect. But there is the higher version of you that shadow comes from. And in other words, there is a higher version of us that we're being reflected from.
Beautiful.
And that's unfortunately a lot of people, that's a bit out of their league as far as comprehension. So,
right. That's why you have to deconstruct the Bible, because that's where they start their understanding from. That's where their concept of reality literally come from the translators of King James. So that's where you have to start from, to show them that these esoteric deep concepts are actually contained in the book, but they hide it from you with the fairy tale, and they never show you the real meaning.
Yeah, exactly. It's all constructed in a way so as to be a puzzle. In other words, that we have to bounce around and gather pieces and not limit a perspective. Which fundamentally, if we limit a perspective, it prevents us from collectively gathering that full picture to really understand what it is we exist within.
Yeah, I tell people a lot that God is a title. It's a title that people wear. It's not some spooky force outside of space and time. It's a title that people actually wore. It's a concept that came from people. But we are aware, these same people are aware that there are concepts beyond our ability to articulate. We call that the ineffable, inexpressible, that there is always something above what you can define. We were aware of this. We exemplified this at the concept of zero. Because zero don't mean nothing. Zero mean what there is no word or term to define. There's nothing to describe it. There's no word for it. But we are aware of that. And this is the starting point. It's where we start from. It's deep, man.
Yeah, I know for sure the best way that I've understood from the physics perspective is God fundamentally is all that is. The same way that the shadow is you, you in a sense are God as an aspect. As God is continuing to expand creation, in other words, and experience quote unquote reality from a multitude of various perspectives, it's what allows God to be omnipresent, because God is experiencing reality through each and every one of us.
Yeah, and I like the word you use, expansion, because to help the people that I'm working with deconstructing, kingdoms expand. When we talking about the kingdom, which the energy that we talking about is described as a kingdom because it operates according to laws. But it expand one or two ways, either through marriage and having children or through war. That's how kingdoms expand. So we showing you the way that it expand through marriage and the birth process that's being described, but it's being put in a symbolically. It's being put symbolically in the book.
Yeah, I would say those are definitely valid earthly forms of expansion.
Right.
I would say
Yes.
expansion can definitely continue without marriage or without war, as expansion is limitless in the direction at which it could go.
Yeah, I'm using it in terms of when the religious people refer to the source, the energy, as a kingdom. And because they refer to it as a kingdom, see it as a kingdom, I use terms that they can relate to that's in line with a kingdom as far as expanding a kingdom, not necessarily expanding energy.
Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, that was one thing that I was trying to, I guess, pick up on is you're fundamentally coming from a place of trying to deconstruct so as to help people better understand the more deeper and also beneficial perspective of the gospel.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm in the same boat as you, brother.
For sure.
um,
For sure.
I guess what's one thing that you run into quite often as far as like a challenge that you've been able to overcome, or even a challenge that you're still currently facing that you haven't yet overcome, as far as being able to help more smoothly transition others down that path?
Uh, to remind myself that I'm not looking for agreement or to be agreed with, but that if it's understood, if what I'm saying is understood, to count that as progress. Even if they don't agree with it, you know what I'm saying? But if they can even understand it, there's progress. And be good with that. Because I used to want people to agree, you know what I'm saying? But now it's more, if they can get an understanding of, oh, I see where you're coming from. I don't necessarily see it that way, but I see what you're saying. Hey, man, that's a score. That's a win right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the third aspect of the formula, no insistence on the outcome, that you don't depend your internal state on the reaction of another.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would
I struggle
say
with that though. I struggle with it. It's something
me
I
too.
go back and forth.
That's why we're going through this right now on TikTok. That's why our angelic guides have us here, is to experience it and deconstruct our own belief systems, to why we allow another person's perspective to create this emotional state within us. And in other words, perspectively and definitionally, we are relinquishing our power to this other person's actions. Which I'm finally getting over that hump myself.
Yeah, because it's when you can articulate it, because a lot of people can't articulate it, but if you can and you can put it in a way where people can understand it and make it plain, there's some real heavy work. There's some real valuable, needed work, but we don't always see the value in what we do unless other people do. And that's the struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it basically comes down to carefully paying attention to the belief system, and restructuring it in a positive way that works for us, by saying, I believe that no matter the outcome of the conversation or the debate, that my internal state is going to remain at a joyful, peaceful one, rather than me believing I have to get this person to change or to accept what I believe.
Right, right. That's something else I struggle with is I wanna I guess the ego part. I struggle with I don't want to come across as like it has to be my way or the highway, but I do want to come across with full, like I'm not just rolling out the bed and saying this, like conviction, and the fine line between making sure you understand I'm coming as authentic as I know how to be, and not have to try to. I guess I'm saying to prove the authenticity, like, you know, where people will say, well, if this is just coming from your mind, then it's not valid. And then feeling like it needs to be proven that it's valid, like just accept if it's not valid to this person, then I don't need to prove the validity of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I get caught up in that a lot too.
Yeah. It's, I mean, me personally, as I've been going through these TikTok debates, re-listening to Bashar's videos and just reminding myself from an external voice, this perspective that it really doesn't matter what other people say or how they react to the conversation, that your internal state is the most important thing, because it's that energy that you produce that fundamentally attracts the positive experiences for you. So you have to have the sincere, absolute belief that your internal state is more important than winning the conversation or this person reacting a certain way. You have to, in other words, create a hierarchy of what is most important within you. And you have to take the belief that someone's reaction, and you have to bring it down several notches and put the belief of the internal state as the most important. And this is where it's a bit interesting. One thing I've experienced is you have to negotiate with your own ego. And it's literally a conversation with another person. So next time you're alone and like you're kind of like processing a situation you recently went through with a discussion with someone and it didn't go a certain way, you talk to your ego as if it's a different person. Don't talk to it as if it's you. And the second that you start talking to your ego as if it's a different person and negotiate with them, and you say, okay, I understand you're upset. about this situation, and it didn't go the way that we wanted it to. But we're also at the same time not enjoying the reaction within us because of that response. So what if you and I come to an agreement that next time we'll care a little bit less about how that person responds, and we'll care a little bit more about our internal state and our own experience. And you'll recognize as if like a response comes from another individual or entity, such as the ego, and it's like, okay, fine, I agree with that. It's weird. It's really weird when you start talking to your ego as if it's a different person. It's a strange experience.
That's something I never tried before. I'll shoot my shot at that. I had an experience the other day. I was with my son, and it's certain things I'm teaching him overtly, and then there's certain things I'm just showing him to see if he'll catch it. So we was at the cashier, and I'm getting some cigars, and my brother was with me. My little brother was with me. He wanted some cigars, so he didn't have his ID. So the cashier, he wouldn't sell them to me. I had mine. My little brother didn't have it. So he wouldn't sell them to me. He had attitude. And my son was like, yeah, but man, my dad, he got his ID. You can sell it to him. And I'm like, man, I'm chilling. I'm not even finna sweat it. Went on and got my little gum or whatever, and I walked out. But the lesson which I ain't gave to him yet, I'm gonna let him marinate, is I didn't want to engage my energy. I chose not to give this person any of my energy at all. And for me to engage this person, I would have to step down. It would be a step down from where I was. I'm happy to be with you. I'm kicking it with my son and my little brother. So if I would have engaged them on their level, I would have had to step down to do it. And I didn't want to step down, so I didn't engage him at all. But on the outside, it looked like I just walked away from a confrontation. But it's much deeper than just walking away. It's knowing which way up is.
Yeah, it's very critical to know which way up is. But also, as you navigate these unique circumstances that your angelic guides, or quote unquote the Holy Spirit, lead you through, they're all purposeful. So it's one of the greatest belief systems that you can structure within you is that other people's energy states have no influence on yours, regardless of if you're engaging with them or not. And as you navigate that engagement, if it comes to a point where your intellectual views are not getting across to them, this is where Jesus said, do not cast your pearls to swine. And it's not that that individual is a pig or swine or they're beneath you. It's just, if someone isn't willing to see the value in which you're delivering it to them, there's no point on trying to force it because they're never going to receive it. So that's where you have to have always fundamentally the most important belief system, that your inward state is more important than anyone else's reaction or belief system. And you always put number one, your inward state first. To love first God, who exists within you, and then to love your neighbor as yourself.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's what I'm on every day. When you was the throwing the pearl before swine. When you see animals in the book, a lot of people don't know that all of these stuff have sacred definitions. So animals have a sacred definition. And these are people that are they don't have they are not aware of themselves on the level that you are. When we talk about the animals, when you go into like the creation narrative and the fourth day, this is an order set in place to govern those that only know the sun, moon, and stars for their day. Because knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is our day. They don't got nothing to do with none of that. But to them, their day is based on the rising and setting of the sun and the constellation. These are considered animals. Their level of perception or awareness of the self is below the firmament. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff hidden in the Bible that just people are unaware of, and it's intentionally hidden. And when you start showing them, they can see the deeper meaning and come out of the spell. Oh, I gotta say God, it got to be in Jesus' name. I got to say amen. If not, I'm going to hell.
Yeah, that's it's basically fundamentally a belief system. And then if we're intellectually honest and we ask ourselves first if God is unconditionally loving, and then place a condition upon his love, it's a belief system where it's creating within us this experience that we would say doesn't come from God at the same time.
Inner turmoil, inner conflict, the cognitive dissonance of it all.
Yeah, and I would elaborate and say that God is perfect in his creation and that he placed a compass in every one of us to find him. And that as you navigate your heart and your emotions, that his yoke is easy and his burden is light. And that if anything feels heavy, you're carrying something that isn't from him. So drop it.
I let people know that the title God was attributed to our ancestors. When I say God, I'm talking about my ancestors. And the beauty of it is, when you say God, you're talking about your ancestors. Because it's a picture on the wall, and they people telling you that God is their ancestors and their ancestors only. And I'm reminding my people now, this title is for your ancestors, and you are your ancestors. If they can be God, why you can't look in the mirror and see the same in you, but you can see it in that picture?
Yeah, and even from that perspective, if God is this other deity or this father figure, why would a loving father not want their child to grow up to be a strong, composed leader?
For sure. In the
So,
likeness and image of, yeah.
yep, exactly. Amen.
Bro, yeah, we on the same page. I like where you at the side, because this is science. That's another thing. This is science. This is ancient science. But it's not seen that way because of the way it is taught. But
Yeah.
I'm contended that these stories are repeated. If you look at the basic elements of these stories that's repeated throughout, this is a scientific method of showing you that something has been repeatedly tested and the outcome is consistent. Just like the scientific method. And that's how they're showing you.
Yeah, I want to quickly run you through an apologetics perspective that's scientific for any scientific people you run across that was given to me from my guides.
Yeah.
So basically, the best way to put this is we know and understand that the radio frequency is, in other words, a packet of information that is not dependent on the radio or the physical vessel. So if the radio breaks, that doesn't mean the radio frequency ceases to exist. That radio frequency continues on. The same way that your consciousness is not the same energy as the physical body, when the physical body ceases to exist, what do you think happens to the state of energy we call consciousness? If the radio wave doesn't cease to exist, does the consciousness cease to exist? And if so, why?
No, I don't think the consciousness ceases to exist.
Yeah, I agree. It's basically a scientific question to spark the curiosity in the atheistic or agnostic individual that just creates this belief system that we go into the dirt and that's it.
That's it.
It's an interesting belief that they have.
I see consciousness. I see consciousness as a type of energy, a form of energy that is transferred, but is not destroyed or ended.
Yeah, exactly. The atheist has a very, very difficult question to answer from that perspective of, I mean, if you're scientific and you recognize within physical reality that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, you have to answer what happens to the state of consciousness after the physical body ceases to exist.
Yeah, and this when we get back to the cycle, and even though we still like finding new ways that energy manifests, we always see that energy always manifests as matter or through matter as matter, and that energy is contained within the matter. So we know that it's going to manifest in some shape or form as matter, but the consciousness, that's the question. So we saying that this consciousness, the energy of consciousness is passed on through your DNA, through your bloodline, but it's in your subconscious. Like the star, let's put it like this. You know how the stars in the sky, the lights in the stars is information, and that the light traveled, took thousands, millions of years for that light to reach your eyes. Meaning that when we look at the stars, we looking into the past. Well, the subconscious mind is like the night sky, and the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding contained in it come from ancestors that existed before time, and that you come to different type of awareness, consciousness of it through your subconscious. But the process, it's a family lineage, it's a DNA thing. It don't happen. That's why it always happens from within you. At a certain time, at a certain point, when the season is right, bam, it start hitting and you start coming into this consciousness. We saying that this is by design and that our ancestors knew it, that they knew when a certain type of consciousness was going to appear and waited on its return, just like people waited on the return of the sunrise.
Yeah. Yeah, I would add to that, in that physical reality is just simply a creative tool for consciousness to express itself.
Yeah, it make you a god.
Yeah, from definitionally, yes, we are literally creators, and we observe that on a day-to-day basis. We're creating this conversation right now.
Oh yeah, man. And I'm looking in the comments. Ain't nobody really tripping, even though it's cutting in and cutting out. I'm an angelic message. I'm gonna make sure I follow you, cause yeah, I like the scientific side. Just these conversations. When I do the deconstruction, most of the people that we deconstruct with are Bible believers. So where we at with the conversation and how we just can talk plainly about these concepts, I can only talk to them about it through the Bible. That's the only way they're going to listen to it. We can't just talk like this to them, or they're going to say it's paganism, it's blasphemy. But if you show them in the book, then you can start getting them to think about some of this stuff and look for it in the book.
Yeah, I hear you on that. That's where I would definitely bring up the parable of the wheats and the tares. That the harvest is bountiful, but as you're navigating, I guess, the field, in essence, as a worker for the kingdom, or to bring other people to the kingdom within themselves, do not cast your pearls to swine. As you navigate the field and you come across, let's say, some thorns mixed in within the wheat, Jesus explains, leave it alone. Don't try to pick out what's necessarily negative or wrong. Specifically more so with the theological people, because as Jesus encountered with the Pharisees and the Sadducees at that time, they typically are the most unreasonable people in regards to being able to expand their perspective and consciousness from where they're currently at, because they have it all figured out and they're not changing their mind on it. So some people you just can't get across to, unfortunately. But you can still plant a seed.
Yeah, that's what I use this platform to do. That's why I make the title provocative, so that it can engage people, especially different points of views. Yeah, that's why I do it, to spark these kind of conversations, because I honestly believe that my community and my people are being held back by this belief. The way that you taught that you're gonna die and be punished for all eternity if you don't get it right. I really believe we are held back by this belief.
Yeah, and I fully agree with you on that. I would say from the many conversations I've had with people from a multitude of backgrounds, I would say the most difficult forms of navigation that I've personally experienced have been Christians or Bible followers. It's for some reason there's a construction within their belief that I haven't been able to pinpoint so as to better unravel it. But
It's
a lot of them are very
spell, bro. It's a spell. It's real magic. Magic and spell work. A spell is any phrase or name or word I can utter that will get you to suspend your critical thinking. That's a spell. And when you get into the spell work and the magic part of this stuff, it's real. Like, it's the way that the language is used, the way that certain things are put is intentionally so. The song singing, the whole setup of it. Spell work is really real and it's still conducted in 2024.
Yeah, I would say don't give too much power to the idea of spells. I mean, because fundamentally everything roots from beliefs. And to expand upon that, the idea of a spell has validity through its origin of belief. So, from a quantum physics perspective, everything that you believe is so as a creator. So, if you believe a certain spell has power, then as a creator, you're giving that particular spell, power. Now, as far as engagement and interactions with all these various forms of energies, it gets to be a bit more complex, but I always like to simplify it in that you have absolute control over regulating your beliefs, and your beliefs determine reality around you.
Yeah, I agree 100% with what you said, believe it or not. But you remember when you said when you are the terrors in the week, there's some stuff you just leave alone, you don't try to tear it out. They already believe in the spell. They already believe that they've been cursed. They already believe it. Literally believe that they suffered pain in childbearing because they was cursed. Thorns and thistles grow so they believe in it already. So, all right, I'm coming to break the spell. Because I can't get the spell out your mind because you got the curse in your mind. So you already got this here. I'm not even going to try to uproot it. We just going to hit you with this. And by hitting you with it, I done broke the spell because I'm just using your terminology. I'm in your playground with you. Then we can start having deeper conversation. We can leave the spell and the curses alone. But first, you dig what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you say don't throw your pearls before swine. I understand that I can't talk to them like that and think they're going to listen. I got to show them where the curse is and blessed is this and the curse is this. I got to speak to them in language that they understand.
Yeah, it's got to be digestible for them from where they're at. You got to meet them where they're at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, I'm enjoying. Hey, bro, I'm enjoying this convo. This is a real convo. Anybody else that's sitting here listening, if you want to join the conversation, you can. This is a part where you can get in here if you disagree or you said something I said you feel like was untrue. You're welcome to get up here and participate. The floor is open while I'm up here. I got Angelic Messenger dropping some esoteric jewels on here with me. And yeah, I appreciate it too, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, brother. I got to get going, but thank you for the conversation, and I look forward to our next one.
Peace. I'm going to give you a follow.
All right, definitely appreciate it, brother. Shoot me one back.
All right. Yeah, that was a good meeting of the minds right there, man. I sure appreciate it. So I went over a little bit in this live deconstructing. I think I deconstructed some right from wrong, how the tree manifested, what the tree of good and evil is, that's a family line. I think I went over, this is something else I want to go over, and then I'm going to end it. After Adam ate from the tree, you say the Lord says the man has become like one of us, knowing both good and evil. So let's he take from his and reach his hand out and eat from the tree of life and live forever. So he put him out the garden. But he said the man has become like one of us. This is the Lord talking. But we see in the creation narrative, it say, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Like the intention was to make man like God. It wasn't a problem. So what do we mean when he say the man has become like one of us? If God already made man in the likeness and image of God, you already look like your mama and your daddy. You already like your mama and your daddy. What do it mean when he say the man has become like one of us? Because he say knowing both good and evil. This is the thing. You remember the angel that threw the praise down, and then the prayer was a supplication of good and evil, discernment of it. They was appealing to God to discern for them good from evil. This angel threw that down. How does it manifest physically? It manifests as a tree, a family line, with a book. Just giving it to you plain. And we saying that this is how this tree manifests itself, that the prayers, the praise that was supposed to go to the Most High, they took the part where you get to decide right or wrong. They kept it for themselves. We want that part of the prayers and the praise and the supplication is supposed to go to the Most High only. We want to be able to decide for people what right or wrong or good or evil is. This manifests itself in a tree, a family tree. The knowledge of good and evil. Look at the picture. Because it's from that tree that you got this knowledge. This is where you became like one of them. Lord mean master. It's when you start running around here thinking that you was somebody master and you better than them and you know right from wrong and I can tell you what's right and I can tell you what's wrong in the name of Jesus. They come from their whole family line. It's something that come from them. Because in being right, you know what else they like to do? Boy, they go to war with you to be right. Man, to be true, I don't got to go to war with you to be true. I'm true whether you believe it, accept it, like it or not. I don't got to fight you. I'm going to be true whether you think it's right or wrong. I'm still true. I don't got to fight you for that. But to be right, somebody got to be wrong. And we know what we get to determine right from wrong. We know what right from wrong is. You can tell that we know right from wrong by looking at the picture. That's obvious that we got it. If you want to know right from wrong, you should come to us, and you can tell because of the picture on the wall that Christianity is the only institution or place that you can go to find right from wrong. You don't need to go to God. You don't need to go within to the Most High. Come to the church. Come to Jesus, and Jesus will show you right from wrong. Come to get you a Bible, and you will find in the Bible, in the little scroll, it's sweet in the mouth. Yeah, you'll learn right from wrong in the Bible. So you read in the Bible that genocide is right and slavery is right, don't you? Because we all know that the Bible is going to tell you all about what's right. Look at the picture. You can't tell? Of course, genocide and slavery is right when the Lord tell you to do it. And we all know that the Lord is going to tell you to commit genocide and slavery from time to time to get people in order. I don't even understand why Christians ask for reparations, because your slave master was just doing God's work. God commanded him to enslave you because you was out of line with God. So they were just doing what God told them to do. I don't know why you asking for reparations. You were supposed to have been the best slave that you knew how to be in the name of Jesus. You weren't supposed to be trying to get free. You running around here talking about freedom. You supposed to be the best slave you know how to be in the name of Jesus. This is what you supposed to be doing right now. You running around here talking about freedom and reparation like them people owe you for doing what God commanded them to do to you for your disobedience and what you said. Now they owe you reparation for doing what God. So you know better than God now. Slavery wasn't right. God told him to do it. Where the Lord told him to enslave you. Now you saying slavery ain't right. So you know better than the Lord, right or wrong. Lord didn't say wasn't nothing wrong with slavery. So you shouldn't have no problem with slavery. You should have been the best slave you knew how to be. In the name of the Lord. What you supposed to been doing. But you know better than God. Now you want to call what you call right in Exodus and Leviticus in 2024. Now it's wrong. And we all know you know what right from wrong is. We all know you got a handle on it, man. We ain't got to go to the Most High for right or wrong. We got to do it as you. I'm talking about? Yeah, we just got to go to the book and we won't know what it is. We won't go to no Most High to know this. We don't pray to God to ask God from what right from wrong is to show us the right way. We go to the book to find that out. You didn't know? That's where you find right from wrong at in the book. You don't go to the Most High. That ain't a prayer or a form of supplication that you present to the Most High through your spirit. No. You appeal to men for right or wrong. To constitute institutions and belief systems. That's who get to tell you what it is. You don't go to the Most High for that. You know you too smart to ask the Most High for right or wrong. You know the right food to eat. That's why your blood pressure high right now and your weight is perfect because you know the right food to eat because you know right. With the wonderful diet that you've put for yourself because you know so much about right, you know the right food to eat. So your weight is perfect and so is your blood pressure. Because we all know you know what's right. Surely if you can decide right or wrong amongst the gods, you can decide right or wrong amongst pork chops and vegetables. I know you can. Because you know what right or wrong is for everybody. You do. How do you determine right or wrong? Because the book is the red part of the book that's in red and the letters, if the letters is capital, that's right and good. Hey, man, I don't got to think no more about nothing again in life. What for? Christian said the part in the book that's in red is the good and right. If I want to know what's good or right, I go to the book, I find the part that's in red or all capital letters. That's how I know what good and right is. That's what they told me. I don't got to go to the Most High. The Most High put it in the book. Nah, baby, Most High put it in your heart. He put it in your DNA. He put it in your subconscious. Put it in your soul. It's in you. It ain't in the book. I promise you it ain't in the book. It's in you. It's in you. Hey, man, they lied to you when they told you it was in that church. Ooh, no, it ain't. Ooh, they made it up. Man, ain't nothing in that church but what they do in them churches, funerals, the dead. Ain't that what they conduct in them? That's what's in there. Hey, man, ain't no funeral being conducted in this temple. You better not. Yeah, you hold the funerals in your temple. And where you go worship at. We don't do no funerals here. It's the living here. Everything here is alive. Everybody here is alive. Oh, man, they like to play game. All you have to do is ask. All you got to do is ask. I mean, you can't, it don't get no real. Because you asking the Most High what? Mama and daddy, Most High mother and father, because you know that's you, ain't you? You know that's you, right? Your mama and dad, ain't that where you come from? That's you. Most High you. All you gotta do is ask. But unless you asking the picture on the wall or one of them, somebody that look like him, ain't no telling what he gonna give you. You ask him for something, ain't no telling what he give you. But I'm telling you, man, you ask your ancestor, the Most High, you, God, the source that's in you, man, wait and see what you get revealed to you. Look at the picture on the wall. Because they represent a whole lie. They say the devil is a lie, right? Look at the picture. You want to see what the devil look like? And you know what that picture is to wrap this all up? Say, man, that picture is a representation of the sun. That's the sun personified. But the real sun is your soul that's in you. We've been waiting on your return. And your light, the light that you're going to bring with you, we've been waiting on you to come back into you, realizing who you were, let your light shine, just like people wait on the sun to come back at night. We waiting on your consciousness, your soul, your awareness of who and what you are to rise in you. The world is waiting. But the picture on the wall might got your held up and you feel like you can't get past the picture. You don't know which way up is. Boy, this is a deep picture right here in front of me, man. Boy, this picture's so deep. Ooh, that picture deep, man. I could talk all day just busting down the many meanings behind this picture. But I'm finna get up out here. I've been on here long enough today. I am gonna post a few of these on YouTube because we dropping some good esoteric. I want to come back with the same topic again so I can reiterate some more when I'm fresh about this good and evil, and that it is a prayer that you don't have no business handling. We pray to the Most High to discern for us what good and evil is, or right or wrong. We ask the Most High to show us what right or wrong is. Not you, not your book, not your pastor, not your congregation. We don't gotta come to you. We don't gotta come to your book. We don't gotta go to your idol. We go through our soul to address the Most High. And the highest form of communication is nonverbal. We don't go in the temple doing no talking. You do that. So yeah, man, remember that when you go to thinking you can tell me about some right or wrong. Remember that. That's some prayer that goes to the Most High only. That ain't, you won't got no business trying to deal with that. It's not for me anyway. It ain't yours to deal with. I didn't ask you. I asked the Most High. I didn't ask your idol. I didn't ask your pastor. I didn't ask your book. So you don't get to tell me what it is. With that said, man, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'm up out of here. Peace.